boys and girls, ghouls and ghosts. Welcome to another People Are Sheeple. Today's topic, Blackie Lawless, once an underdog of the shock rock metal community in the 80s. He's plummeted down like most 80s artists in the 90s, but kept going at it and has his very loyal fan base, always gobbling up whatever he has to deliver from his codpiece of horrors. And I can't say that I was a fan of his after the Electric Circus, because once the Electric Circus dropped, it was pretty evident to me that he was pretty much out of any real genuine, innovation and genuine original ideas. This happens to a lot of artists. Their first album is amazing. The second one is not bad at all. The third one is pretty mediocre, but it's still, listenable. It's still good. It has some classics, like 2 or 3 songs that are still listenable at this age in 2025. And but after that, you can clearly hear them start to regurgitate riffs, uh, uh, you know, double down on their formula brand that made them famous, and they just go on ad nauseum. They just repeat this very safe, very familiar, generic formula that retains their traditional loyalist fan base. Not me, definitely not me, because I don't like being a traditional fan when a band no longer offers anything truly, exciting and truly remarkable. I don't support any band, no matter how good, if they just keep on doing the same very predictable traditional stuff. I think it's a disservice. But hey, it's not all about me, is it? Unfortunately, this world is all messed up because different people like different things that are not all that great. And so we are all flooded with mediocrity, from film to, music, art, etc. People just have this strange, I don't know, deficient vibrational wavelength where they are perfectly happy, like pigs in mud, just hearing the same record over and over. And that's what modern Wasp fans are to me. Now, fortunately for Blackie, he's got some sort of income coming in. Although, I have to say that his royalties were not enough to sustain him and have some sort of, integrity left at this age. And I think he's been through a lot. He's been through surgery. He's been through death threats. He's been shot at, apparently, and the source of this is unknown. It could be anyone. It could be PMRC Christian nuts, or it could be people that he fucked over and people he insulted, or maybe we'll find out one day. Maybe we won't ever know really what is the cause. But none of the above would surprise me, because he has been a very chaotic person. He's been in the scene, and he's probably done a lot of bad to some good people out there. Who knows? That's the way of the nature of the business in Hollywood. It's like, only if you're truly an asshole, you step over some heads. That's the only way to climb up the ladder. I mean, I guess that works for corporate America and even the presidency of America. And hell, every country on the planet is rifled with corruption and shit, So, in any case, Blackie Lawless remains an enigma and a cult figure. He has his own cult now. Even Chris Holmes, has been manipulated by him several times, and even it's his own fault. But then again, would we know who Chris Holmes even is if it weren't for Blackie? That's a question for the ages. And Chris Holmes says that Blackie never paid him royalties, and he refused to give him credit for, the good old days, like the debut and the Last Command, the Electric Circus, all that jazz. I think he apparently he doesn't receive royalties or credit, which I find hard to believe. And Chris Holmes made some pretty memorable, catchy leads and stuff, and he was like very animated in the band. He was quite a character. Nowadays, he just seems like an over-the-hill, former crackhead trying to like maintain his some sort of credit in the metal world. He goes out on his own. He has his own band, but unfortunately, he doesn't have that Blackie Lawless edge to his songwriting, and his vocals are definitely lacking. But I digress. Things apparently have been pretty bad for Blackie. He's been going through a lot of surgeries, but he's been in a lot of need of money apparently to leave the music business to the side while he recuperates his health, because he's been going around while he's in recuperation mode, and getting money or receiving money from the Trump administration. He dared to put Trump banners at his shows, like a year ago, right before the elections. And it is a really surprising move for any heavy metal artist to support any politician, left or right, doesn't matter. It's unheard of. It's basically blasphemy. Although in Blackie's defense, he says that he gave a whole freedom of speech diatribe, and he kind of justified it because, yeah, I mean, in social media, there's been a lot of banning of speech and of certain topics. People were being demonetized by just saying certain words, and getting banned from apps. And it just seemed very bizarre. And yeah, the Democrats are going full force, and even letting young children have the autonomy to change their sex and begin taking hormone resistant what have yous, and getting operations maybe, I don't know. But apparently it's something that has to be done before puberty sets in. But this is a crazy decision to make before even growing up. It just seemed like something that shouldn't happen all of a sudden, and there should be a lot of more discussions, and the manipulation of the government with social media and media outlets, news channels and everything. It's always been a problem, but it just seemed like it was coming to a certain head, and it also seemed like it was almost on purpose in order to catapult a lot of people to move to the right, because this was too abrupt. This was too much for society to take in all at once, and especially the freedom of speech thing. So in that sense, I kind of understand what Blackie was doing, but regardless, maybe he was blindsided as well as a lot of people. Maybe a lot of people didn't pay attention to the full-on, Trump presidency goals. Like they had all these goals and promises, and maybe there was some subtle text in there where a lot of people just didn't realize that that Trump was gonna become a dictator fascist, and that he has become. And I don't know if Blackie was on board all along and he knew that was gonna happen. I somehow doubt it, but you never know. I've seen all this proof that Blackie was anti-Nazi. He was, all for, freedom for sure, but he was not a pro-fascist. He even went to Germany and was speaking out about the Nazi Party getting a 13% vote and all that. But this was, back in the day. I don't know if his ideologies have changed, and there is proof that he's always been anti, black people. He's been racist himself. But maybe it's a product of his generation, or maybe he felt like he could be an asshole at certain times to certain people, even though I think he's part Cherokee or something. I don't know if he is, but it's still kind of bizarre to think that he would actually be all for what's going on in the current climate with the Trump fascist regime and what's happening in the streets. Maybe he is for it. I don't know. He hasn't spoken. At least I haven't seen any interviews lately where he has spoken about this whole situation. So I guess that remains to be seen. But I just wanted to point out, I don't care if you're a huge fan of Blackie Lawless or if you don't really care about it. The point is, no heavy metal artist should ever
Don't ever, 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 ever,
political figure, especially knowing that both left and right are both working. They both have industry plants because politics is run by big business. So you don't support on any of the big, huge political figures that are gunning for top offices. Sure, there's good people, but in the minor leagues because they're not allowed to go up and rise to power because big business will not allow good politicians with the people's good intentions for the people of America, the regular blue collar workers. They will not allow that to happen. They only want billionaire benefits, and they want to suppress the lower class because they don't want them growing even bigger, and they don't want them enjoying life, and they want them to be dominated and subjugated forever. It is a brave new slave world, and that's the way they want to keep it. They want to keep slavery in place, and slavery is the only way that billionaires can exist. So shame on Blackie. Maybe this is his way of bidding for himself to become a billionaire at all costs. So in conclusion, I'm waiting to hear from Blackie. Chances are very high that he is just your basic old school, old generational racist to a degree. But did he know that things would be so bad and so fascist with the Trump regime that he supported with his banners at his shows? And let's just hope this doesn't happen again. And any other band out there that dares to do this, I will be speaking about this. And I will send the hounds of hell after these fucks.